Things aren't even said and done in the Senate races this week, but Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, RKY, is already making plans. It was expected by many that he wouldn't even be in a position to make plans for the Senate, as it was assumed the GOP would be in the minority. He seems assured that he'll keep the majority, but it's still undecided. After securing his own re-election, McConnell spoke to reporters in his home state and talked of the agenda he wants for the end of the year. He wants to get the stimulus deal done, something he wasn't too interested in before being re-elected, and also wants to lock in a spending deal by the December deadline. We need another rescue package. The Senate goes back in session next Monday. I think we need to do it, and I think we need to do it before the end of the year, he said when he was asked about passing another stimulus relief deal. I think that's job one when we get back, he added. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the House Democrats have been willing to get a stimulus relief package out there. They passed legislation for one last May, but McConnell never brought it to the Senate floor. Late in the game he tried to pass off a much slimmer $500 billion deal, but it was rejected by Democrats. He tried it again a few weeks later, only for it to fail again. Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin were negotiating for a deal and got close to one but never did reach the finish line before the election. McConnell, for the most part, was left out of those negotiations. Donald Trump insisted that if he wanted Senate Republicans to agree to a deal, that they would. Previously, McConnell had told radio host Hugh Hewitt that he believed a stimulus deal is something we'll need to do right at the beginning of the year, but now he thinks he'll be doing it by the end of this year. McConnell didn't rule out that more state and local aid would end up in a new agreement, after refusing to allow Democrats to include it. Yet, he's still indicating that a smaller package, like his previous $500 billion offer, would be best. Pelosi's last offer was $2.2 trillion, and Mnuchin's was $1.9 trillion. I think now that the election is over, the need is there, and we need to sit down and work this out. State and local could end up being a part of it, said McConnell. He added that along with that deal, both he and Pelosi want to get a full-year spending deal instead of a short-term continuing resolution, CR. The Speaker and I agree that we ought to do an omnibus appropriations bill and do it in December, no matter who wins the election. It's a basic function of government that we haven't handled very well in recent years, he allowed. Yet, at this point, it's known that Democrats held on to the House, but it's not known who will be in control of the Senate, with 5 races still undecided and the presidential race still undecided as well between Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. The GOP feels good about the way the races are going, however. Along with the 5 outstanding races, there is also a 6th one in Georgia going to a runoff. Democrats may be less likely to lock in a full-year deal if Biden wins the election. They may prefer to put a CR in play, then lock in something more substantial once he is in office. We don't know for sure all the outcomes, but hopefully, we will by next week when we go back in session and we need to sit down and talk to each other, said McConnell on Wednesday. I'm confident we will no matter who ends up running the government.